Hi everybody, welcome to my art journal watch along video. It's Monday, time to do art. So today I'm pretty much about the seasonal things going on, starting with some watercolors for the background. By the way, if you're new to the channel or the series, my name is Sarah and I'm the artist behind Pinselgeschichten. And I do different kinds of art projects throughout the weeks. So once the watercolor background is dry, I'm just going over it with a stencil of some wood grain and brown acrylic spray. And while I let that dry, I'm taking different kinds of pattern paper and the stencil here, which is from a board game called Mice and Mystics, sorry. And I'm just tracing those leaves to use them for my autumn leaves. I do keep those pieces pretty much whenever we get a board game, which is kind of often, and I use them to do artwork. So I'm taking different kinds of papers here, and I'm not only staying with the traditional fall colors, yellow, orange, red, and brown, but I'm putting in some teal color and some purple as well. And I also took this transparent paper or vellum, whatever you want to call it, and I traced two of the leaves there too. So the next job was to cut them all out of the paper and stay, well, kind of true to the original shape, but I skipped some of those edges of the leaves here and there just to not have them all look the same. So identical, that's the word I'm looking for. And yeah, I'm just cutting them out one after another. So usually when I do autumn art stuff, I stay pretty true to the quote-unquote traditional art colors for that season. Like I said, yellow, orange, red, and brown. But for this one, I thought I'd try something different, and teal or purple are usually more the spring colors for me. And I thought, how about just using those in an autumn kind of way, which worked actually pretty nicely with the dark browns. I was kind of surprised there, but you will see later on that I'm going to use some more spray paint and it gets onto the leaves, so it changes, or they change the color a tiny bit, which I think helps putting the piece together and giving it an autumny feel there. So yeah, it took me quite a while to cut all of those leaves, but I didn't rush. I took my time just to make sure they actually look like leaves in the end. And this is by the way, my favorite season of the year, so I was pretty much itching to do some artwork for fall. And finally, the time is here. The leaves are different outside. They're changing colors. They're, well, falling off the trees and stuff like that. So I just really like to sit at the window while getting a coffee and staring outside at trees or whatever. People might think I'm strange or something, but I pretty much don't care. So yeah, I just enjoy this season, and we do have a beautiful autumn over here this year so far. Not a lot of rain and gray and cold. I guess that will come in November, but we had some very lovely sunny days, so it was just nice to look at nature around here. So I did make 2 leaves of each paper so far. I will add more later on just because, of course, I like odd numbers in a piece, but I wanted to see first how much space they took up and how I would arrange them, and then I would add more leaves there. So the paper got a bit curly there, but I don't mind. I just can bend it and, well, manipulate it enough to have kind of a flat surface. So that's fine. And I'm just arranging the leaves, seeing how they fit, and then I'm just bending them a tiny bit to give it a 3D kind of look there, and to, well, just have dimension, not have everything look super flat. So at that point I knew, okay, I need at least one more leaf, and I decided to have it, well, orange yellow, kind of going back to the traditional color there, but I just needed some more warmth. So even the brown in the background that I used for the stencil is a cold brown. And I wanted to have something more to counteract or to balance that cold color. So I decided to take another orangey yellow leaf there. So next thing up, I took some yarn, and I thought first, well, I'm gonna take orange. No, I kind of challenged myself to take purple, just to, well, again, use maybe not the traditional autumn colors, but to use a color that I already have in the papers, and purple looked nicest for me, at least. So I'm just gluing it down with some super glue because I'm impatient, and it really stays where you put it down. It's not running as other craft glue may do, so I'm just putting those down. Of course, I'm gluing myself to the page. Why wouldn't I? But in the end, when you see the photos at the end, it's really cute. Well, it baffled me a bit that the yarn actually looked brown instead of purple. So depending on the light that you have around that page, it looks purple or it looks brown. So I really like that. Once I had the yarn put down, of course, the leaves were next, and I tried to glue them in a way that just the middle section is glued down and that the sides pop up, so to keep the 3D look of the page there. And I just, well, arranged my leaves there. Pretty simple. Next up, I did work with, for the kind of finishing touches there, just to bring everything together. I used some purplish red spray paint and a permanent marker in brown, just to have the veins of the leaves drawn in. Very roughly, very loose. So I'm more sketching them in rather than drawing them in. And I'm also giving the yarn part a bit of a shadow, just to have some, well, perspective and dimension there. All in all, that page took me a little more than an hour, so it was one of the rather short pages there. It came together quite quickly, but I did have an idea of what I wanted to do before I started, so that always helps. I'm also going in with a white gel pen just to have a very few highlights here and there. And I'm also framing the page with the same gel marker. Again, using sketchy lines, not being neat about that. One little line of black permanent marker and putting down some white acrylic spray just to have a highlight from the upper right section of the painting. And I'm done. That's my art journal page for the week. Thank you very much for watching. If you feel like thumbsing up or sharing or subscribing, I would very much appreciate that. Have a wonderful day, and I'm going to see you next week. Bye.